Welcome to the next in our series of Gritbites. My name is Duncan Johnson and I'm Chief Executive of Northern Gritstone. And today I'm joined by Andy Naylor, who is an Investment Director in our investment team. Welcome, Andy. We've previously talked about in the series the work we do with our founding university partners pre-investing in businesses. Andy, after we've invested, what does our support look like post-investment?
Yeah, thanks, Duncan. Well, first and foremost, we take a board seat, so we're a highly active non-exec director on all the boards in those companies in which we invest. But beyond that, there's a whole range of services that Northern Gritstone supplies to these businesses. That includes our own in-house talent function, where we can look at supporting the business to recruit C-suite executives, non-exec directors, and do analysis of gaps across the team and how we might support and fill those gaps. We also have a function, Northern Gritstone Innovation Services, which has best-in-class panels of advisors, and so these can seamlessly slot in to those businesses at reduced rates using our buying power to appoint them, and that would include insurance brokers and tax specialists, IT providers, for example. So all of that back office support for those spin-out companies is covered through that panel of advisors. And beyond that, clearly we have a vast network of advisors and co-investors, and that's very well curated in-house by us at Northern Gritstone, so we can bring appropriate advisors and investors to bear on these companies at appropriate points. So it's a real wraparound support function that we bring to these businesses, as well as purely the money. It's the plus alongside the money, which we believe will help our companies succeed.
So it's a whole support mechanism that's driving us on an alignment to success. And alignment's an important word, isn't it? So I mean, how do you get that alignment? How do you measure the progress you're making, Andy, when quite often there's not profits or even revenue to help judge that by? So how does that work?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we start very, very early stage with the founders and the management teams to really map out what we would view as the key value inflection milestones that the company's going to achieve over the next 1, 3, 5 years plus in the business. And we would call that a stairway to heaven. And therefore that would provide a basis for further investment, for example, for technology deliverables, for commercial deliverables. And that is very clearly mapped out and understood by both us as investors, our co-investors and the management team. So right from the word go, there is clear alignment around the goals that we're expecting in that business.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's really interesting, that concept of the stairway to heaven, of how you get to the end game, but with smaller steps on that path. One of the real benefits of Northern Gritstone is the fact that it's a permanent capital company. What does that mean in terms of how we interact with our investee companies over the long term, Andy?
Yeah, so again, this really speaks to the heart of our investment philosophy, that we know when we start this journey, it's going to be a long period of time, that we're going to be there as a shareholder. If the company's going well, we'll continue to invest and support those businesses. So we do take a very long-term time frame from the word go, and we're very dynamic about that support. So very early stages, it might be highly operational, helping to develop business plans. Later on, it might be how do we strengthen the board and the C-suite. Later on, it might be how do we attract the right large-scale co-investors who can provide substantial sums of money based on the previous success of the business. So we will develop our offering and our support for that business as those companies grow. It's highly flexible and dynamic, strapped in with that business over a long, multi-year period. Long
term, but dynamic, making sure what we're doing is for the right thing at the right moment in time. Thank you very much, Andy. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you in the next in our series of Gritbites.